Minecraft didn't just revolutionize gaming in 2011, it became the best-selling video game of all time, with over 300 million copies sold. So of course, Hollywood had to turn it into a movie. A Minecraft movie finally hit theaters in 2025 after a long development cycle, promising to bring the blocky world to life with a massive budget and star-studded cast. But here's the thing about video game adaptations. They have a legendary track record of disappointment. Now that the hype has settled and we've had time to process what we witnessed, the big question remains, did they finally crack the code on video game movies? Or is this just another expensive reminder that some things should stay pixelated? Find out today as we watch another movie at Grandma's house. Hello, please come in and welcome to Grandma's. I'm your host, Isaac, my Dennis. And who's with me considering a Minecraft movie?
This is Seth. First we mine, then we craft. Let's Minecraft.
It is great to see you. How you feeling?
I'm doing really good today. How are you?
Oh, I'm doing great. This is a movie we've talked about doing, and like we discussed, we wanted the dust to kind of settle because this movie, we'll get into it, got a lot of hype, got a lot of attention, but we're kind of letting the dust settle and coming back to it. So you're in for a treat, you, the listeners at home. We cannot wait to share our thoughts. But before we do, consider this your spoiler warning. We're going to be getting into the film in depth. So going forward, we are in spoiler territory. But let's get to some movie facts. So a Minecraft movie was released on April 4th, 2025. It had a budget of $150 million, but the box office, $955.1 million. Looking around at some reviews, we have IMDb at a 5.6 out of 10. Rotten Tomatoes is a 48%. Letterboxd has a 2.5 out of 5. And it stars Jack Black, Jason Momoa, and Danielle Brooks, in an association with Warner Brothers Pictures. And it is currently streaming right now on HBO Max. Almost forgot to mention that as well. But last but not least, we got to get to Granny's family-friendly rating. So Seth, what is that rating?
Granny's family-friendly rating for a Minecraft movie is C for frightening scenes, adult themes, and violence.
All right, and we'll get into that more, I'm sure. But let's start with, even though this is a more recent film, what are some of your first memories?
So first memories, I had never seen this and am only slightly familiar with the video game, so it was completely fresh.
Wow. And we're going to talk about this. This movie was everywhere this year. I mean, this is a movie that just came out earlier in the year, but yeah, this is based off the just blockbuster game. Like, who has not at least heard of Minecraft, the video game? So I remember thinking, oh, that's not a surprise. It's become a movie. My memories were just kind of the trailers. I didn't see it in theaters. There's a lot of things that happened in the theaters I'm sure we'll get into that kind of got the publicity, but I wasn't a part of that. It wasn't until much later I watched it over streaming is when the first time I actually saw it. But with that said, I'm interested to hear, what were your expectations going into watching the film?
So I imagined that I'd laugh due to the director and the cast. So I was gave me an idea what I was in for.
Right on. Yeah, my kids, they enjoy Minecraft. We have it, and we do mostly just the creator mode. You know, we just like to build stuff. That's what's so great about the games is you kind of use your imagination. So they were anxious to watch this. I had my reservations just with the previews, like you mentioned about the rating. There's some scary elements, things like that. But I was still like, I think they'll enjoy it. So my expectations are, I hope the kids enjoy it. And then for me, I hope if this is targeted at a kids, adults can still enjoy it. And it's not that it needs to have adult themes, but not so much that it's targeted at little tiny kids. You know, adults can also enjoy the show, so to say. Well, before we get to our plot rewind, let's pause just a moment to hear from our sponsors. Hey, love movies as much as we do? Then bring the experience of the theater to your walls with movieposters.com. Whether you're into the classics, the blockbusters, or indie gems, they have something for every single film fanatic. as a listener of our podcast, you can save up to 15% on your order right now. Just use code Grandma's House at checkout. Head to movieposters.com and let's build your ultimate collection today. All right, so let's bring up streaming. Let's select a Minecraft movie and press play.
Four misfits are suddenly pulled through a mysterious portal into a bizarre cubic wonderland that thrives on imagination. To get back home, they'll have to master the world while embarking on a quest with an unexpected expert crafter. With some laughs and heart, let's watch another new movie at Grandma's house.
Very nice. So there you go. This is interesting to consider, being a recent movie. First impressions are they definitely just went for it. They were like, this is a Minecraft movie. They just throw you right into it. That's kind of what stuck out to me, but I'm interested. What is kind of your first impressions as you're watching the movie?
So I thought the CGI was really cool. The graphics were simple. At times, they could be brilliant, but usually they kept with that simple kind of animation, which I thought was kind of needed for this movie, because if it was too accurate, it would take away from the movie, I think.
I agree. Yeah, the animation is well done, and we're in 2025. So considering this came out this year, I still think they did a good job of what you're saying. It's based off of Minecraft. Minecraft, kind of the knock, I remember when that first came out, was the graphics are terrible. Well, it's the point. This is like an N64 styled graphic game. It's more about the imagination and building, and they try to do that. It's not that the animation's bad. I think they did a good job of keeping it simple. It's based off of the game. So if you're expecting more, I'm kind of like, what do you want? This is, I think, pretty faithful to the game. They did a good job in that way. Now, the main character of Minecraft is Steve, and you have, obviously, Jack Black, a big star, playing as Steve. So I'm interested to hear, what is your take on Jack Black playing Steve?
So I'm not really familiar with the game. Is there like a third person type deal in the game, like where they tell the narrate or anything, or?
No, not that I'm.
Okay, so that was completely fresh. All right.
Yeah.
So that helps a little bit, because I appreciated his acting. I thought the character was a little bit over the top, and for me to say that about Jack Black is actually something I would never say. I really enjoyed it, though. There's a lot of laughs in that character. If I could jump to Garrett, Jason Momoa, he was really funny. A lot of comic relief. I was kind of shocked at how well they meshed together, Jack Black and him. That was a good casting call. So kudos to them for that. Just a lot of the cast was fun. I really appreciated the younger folks in the movie. I thought they did a really good job, and I don't know. It was interesting, just you kind of like get a little bit of character growth, but there's not a whole lot of room for the character growth because there's so much action. So it's kind of hard. You kind of want to see more, but you're going to be like 2.5 hours in if you see more. So,
right, I agree with that. I think I feel a little relieved, because I was kept hearing like, oh, Jack Black is just amazing. He's great and all this. And I think his acting is good. I mean, I want to say the movies I've not seen like every movie he's been in, but I enjoy him. I really enjoy Jack Black. He's one of those actors that it's just like, oh, I don't care what the movie is. And that was part of this one. Like, oh yeah, it's got Jack Black in it. But for some reason, it's just, going back to what you said, the narration and him just giving you the play-by-play of everything, it got old to me. And that's a writing thing. That's not a Jack Black thing. But like, he narrates at the beginning, and he's like telling you every little thing. And I also think that's a movie trope that all movies are doing. So this isn't calling anybody out specifically, but I wish there was less of that. I think that made me realize, like, older movies, they used to just show you, and you would kind of put two and two together. It's like, it almost feels like we have to really tell you every little detail. And that kind of took me away a little bit, because I wanted to enjoy just Jack Black being Steve, just, goofing off. And he does, but that kind of took me out a little bit. So when you said like a little bit over the top, I agree with you on that. Like, I wish there was just less of the narration. That kind of hurt it for me. I do like Garrett's character. I agree with you on that too. Exactly. I think he's actually in some ways a little funnier. I dare to say, just because I don't think I liked Steve's character as much as his. I think he's a made up character. He's called like the garbage man, Garrett the garbage man, and I don't remember that in the game. So I'm sure all the Minecraft fans will tear me in the comments, but that's fine. I played Minecraft, but I'm not like this hardcore like, oh, I'm obsessed with it. But yeah, I think they were the bright spots. I do, as much as I'm knocking Jack Black Steve, he does a good job. He has some funny lines. I agree. There's some ones that I chuckled at and of course, it's the Jack Black of singing. I mean, that's what he does too. So he has a lot of songs in this one. So if that's your type of humor, I feel like you're going to have a great time with it. I do think the supporting characters, exactly what you're saying, they didn't get developed as much. So I actually think they're kind of the weak spot of the film because they didn't get that development. And you're right, though. If they tried to develop those characters, we're talking like a 2.5, 3 hour movie. So I get the challenge that's there, but I do say the best part of the characters is actually your Jack Black and Jason Momoa. Unfortunately, I feel like it would have been a much more complete, rounded. It just felt kind of rushed. Did you sense that a little bit with maybe the writing or the supporting characters?
Well, it almost felt like an afterthought a little bit. I wasn't prepared to talk about that, but yeah, I do feel like they're like a side thought. Like, let's
Yeah,
build this around them, but yet they barely show them in the movie. So it's like, I don't know. I almost felt like we could get right into it, I guess. The darkness of the movie, the evil plot
yeah,
was a little bit too big of a plot point, if you ask me. I don't play the games, so I really don't know if that's like a major aspect or not, but that it seemed like way too much of the film. It
yeah.
was, it could have probably been like half of it could have been taken out of the evil, like the evil side, in my opinion.
I'm with you. I'm actually 100% with you on it. And the game has that. It's called like the Nether or something. And when I play it, it's just more on the creative side, like just building
Hmm.
stuff. I'm not, there's all kinds of iterations, added content where it's more of a story and you're going on an adventure, like actually against enemies. That's not, I've never played those. So I'm not one to say, oh, they shouldn't have done. But personally, I think I would have enjoyed it. I 100% agree with you. There's just almost like that was half, maybe even more than the movie was more on those darker tones. And I feel like if they would have went more on the positive of like the building spots, and then you have this whatever villain kind of there, maybe a fourth of cut it down some. I agree.
Yeah.
I think it would have just built a little better. Built a little better there, pun intended. It would have been the building blocks of this movie. So I know that's probably a me thing, but I agree with you. I think we're both in unison on that. It's just the darker parts. I could care less for them. I wasn't a big fan of them. It was very generic. I mean, it's just what was even the main villain? She's obsessed with gold. Her
I
name
don't even know the name.
there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't even remember her name, and it's just
No.
he's evil, and I was like, okay, we don't need this fleshed out villain. I get it, but it was just so generic. That's where I agree with you. It's kind of like an afterthought. That's another side character in my mind. Is just if it's not Steve, if it's not Garrett, everybody else kind of got second place and pushed to the
Mhm.
side. I wish they didn't have to again flesh it out as this 3 hour movie, but as you were explaining that, I'm like, yes, that does make more sense if they would have cut that back a little bit. So I agree with you on that. I wish it's just a lot of potential. Another way of putting it, I guess. But what else did you want to touch on?
Well, I don't know if you wanted to talk about it later or not, but there's a lot of controversy as far as like the translation of the game into the movie. And for because like I said, I've played it a couple times ever, and I thought it translated well. I thought that they took that world and they kind of made it into their own thing, and that's really what a video game adaptation should do. So I thought that that was really well done. Now, had I played the game all the time, I might be one of those people saying I thought that they could have done a way better job. Um, there's we'll probably get into it some more, but there's a lot of pros and cons to this movie, and I felt like that was not like the plot wasn't that wasn't really the main plot wasn't that bad. I thought it was actually pretty strong. The supporting characters for that plot they could have done a little bit better with, I think. But the actual plot for the movie I thought was pretty strong. But that's here nor there really when it comes to that what we were talking about. We even lost track of what what we were talking about.
It's a good point. Like, you shouldn't expect this amazing plot. It's based off of a video game. And just to be frank, a lot of video games don't have a plot. It's more about the gameplay and having fun. And that's what this movie's trying to do. I get it. And I appreciate that. They're not trying to wow you with this plot. It's solid. It works. I don't have much of an issue with the plot. I think it's just I wish the characters were a little stronger. That would be you talked about pros and cons. I think the plot, you can take it or leave it. It's not bad. I wouldn't say it's the greatest, but I just wish those characters were a little bit better considering I don't know. This is a fun world. This is wow. This is so much stuff. And the characters didn't really, I guess maybe that's part of it too. Maybe the acting, and that could be a director thing, but the supporting characters, the acting just didn't come across either. There was some just very bland moments. And I'm like, you're in a world of Minecraft. There should be almost this, whoa, more than there was. And that, I don't know, maybe that's something that I just noticed, but that's maybe part of it. But yeah, I agree. There's some pros and cons to it. I sound like I'm completely negative on it. I had some parts I was laughing at. There was some silly, and that's what it's trying to do, is just be silly, target more of your kid audience. But I could see how adults enjoy it too. What were maybe some jokes or quotes that you appreciated?
The first one that I had written down was, anything you can dream about here, you can make, which I thought was really cool. My favorite quote, I think, in the whole movie is, tell my story and song. Keep it metal, keep it heavy, and with real instruments. And then another one I liked, the villain actually said, who are you and why are you so round?
That was a good one. I like that one. Yeah. It was very, so when it comes to the quotes, I think they were very hit or miss with me. And maybe that's why I say there's pros and cons to it, because there's times like that. But the other part I go back to with the narration, I actually went back and did research on the quotes. And I'm not kidding you. When I'm looking at the quotes, all it is just them stating something about the game. There's the famous chicken jockey, right? That's something that made news because it became chaos. If people yelled chicken jockey, they throw you the popcorn and all this. I mean, it's in the news. Look it up. You'll see what I'm talking about. Yeah. But I was like, okay, there's obviously that quote. But I was looking up more. The next one is, I am Steve. Okay. And I was like, okay. And then the next one was Flint and Steel. Okay. Water bucket, release. Like, okay. Coming in hot. It was just very just shouting words, I guess. And I noticed that when I was watching it, it's just like, you're just shouting stuff that's going on. Diamond armor, full set. Like, he's very just, almost sounds like a game narration. And maybe that works for you. I could actually see people like, I love that, because it's just like you're playing a game, and sometimes there is that narrator telling you stuff. To me, it was just not, I was like, I feel like going back to, there's so much more potential, because on one side, yes, I laughed and I chuckled, but then you have these jokes. I don't know if they were just trying to make it a meme. And yes, this movie got memed to death, of course, because it was very popular, but it felt forced. Does that make sense at all?
It does. I actually thought the dialogue was, for the most part, the stronger part of the movie. But that's just me. I think it's going to be up to your interpretation. There's definitely some forced lines in the movie, that's for sure. And I think that was probably a directorial choice. I don't know. Unfortunately, maybe if I had the commentary or something, I could find that out, but I don't have that with me. So, yeah, it's definitely, got some issues with some of the dialogue for sure. I would say.
Yeah. And again, I did chuckle. I'm not saying it was all bad, but there was just a few forced moments that took me out of it. And like you said, it could be the director or the studios got involved. Who knows? It could be a number of things. And that is interesting. If I go back, I would be interested to see the commentary on this movie, especially if Jack Black was in there. I bet that would be very entertaining to hear his stories and certain things on scene. So that's a good point. That is something maybe to consider. I don't know if this DVD or Blu-ray currently has it, but something to look into more. So, okay. Well, anything else to touch on or anything that you want to bring out?
We can jump into the fun facts if you want.
All right. Hit me with what you got.
All right. So Matt Berry was first cast as Steve, but he had to drop out after the SAG-AFTRA strike altered his schedule. The role went to Jack Black, who was originally only supposed to do cameo as a talking pig. Berry instead provided the voice of Nitwit.
That's a really good fun fact. I like that. He just kind of grew into that role. But that is right. Yeah, there was that strike going on and it lined up. So that's an interesting one. That's a good one.
So this is the second collaboration between Jack Black and director Jared Hess after Nacho Libre, or Libre, whatever you want to pronounce it, released 19 years prior.
That's right. And I know a lot of people that love that movie too. I love that movie. Comedy. Yeah. Okay. Okay. That makes a lot. Why didn't I put two and two together on that? I don't know why, but again, 19 years, I guess that's separated enough, but that is interesting. That makes a lot of sense now. Yeah.
So this was the second highest grossing film based on a video game after the Super Mario Brothers movie in 2023.
Yeah. Super Mario, I want to say, isn't that like over $1 billion? Because this is just under.
It got just right around $1 billion. Yeah, that was. Wow, that movie was a monster. It's a tour de force, I guess.
I think what the sequel is going to do too. Yeah. Wow.
Yeah. So, are you ready? It's time for the fun fact trivia question.
I'm ready. I'm going to get it this time. I know I will.
I hope this is right up your alley. I'm thinking you'll get this one. All right, ready?
All right. Ready.
In the end credit scene, this has been after the movie's over. Jack Black's character returns to Earth to revisit his old house. The woman at the door's face is never shown, but which SNL cast member supplied the voice for it? A. Amy Poehler, B. Tina Fey, or C. Kate McKinnon?
I remember seeing that because I do watch movies after. And what is her name? That was a nod to the games. So I thought that's where you were going. And I want to say her name's like Emily or
something like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I wrote it down and I forgot it.
Yeah. And that's terrible. Again, I know there's some Minecraft fans that can just tell you off the top of their head, like without hesitation. But that's where I thought you were going. So, ooh.
You want me to read it again?
Something was telling me it was the last one, Kate McKinnon.
It's Kate McKinnon. You're right.
Yes. All right. Something was telling me.
Good job.
All right.
Back on track.
Got it. That's a relief. I was like, if I got that wrong, it was kind of a more tricky one because I was like, oh, the way you were going, like I said, I thought you were doing to the nod to the games, but yeah, I was thinking it didn't remind me of Amy Poehler or Tina Fey. So, all right, back on track. I am a happy camper now, so that's great. All right. Well, before we get to our reviews, we like to look around the net, just kind of see what's out there. So, Seth, what kind of reviews are you seeing?
So the first review I found was Lego Boyo said, absolutely entertaining, 7 out of 10.
Okay, so the Lego Boyo approves. It's kind of fitting there, Legos and buildings. So, okay, I can see that though. Yeah, 7 out of 10.
Batman 9003 says, cringy, stupid, with a side of brain rot, 3 out of 10.
Wow, they did not like it at all. Brain rot. I don't know why it tickles me. Oh, that's too funny.
The last one is _writer 2004 said, fun movie, great heart, but on an underwhelming and rushed third act, 6 out of 10.
I think I kind of agree with that. Yeah, that's the third act does seem a little rushed. That's what I was kind of picking up a little bit, but they had to wrap it up, so it's hard to say. Maybe the studio got involved or something, but we'll I'm sure talk a little bit more on our final review, but It
also could be that the movie was much longer and they really cut a lot of stuff.
That's true. I could see that. And that's
So,
another special features, not just a commentary, but look at some
yeah,
deleted
I'm
scenes.
wondering. That's kind of what I was kind of leaning towards. I don't know. We'll see. Maybe we'll
That's a good
find out one
point.
day.
Yeah, that might be something to revisit for sure. Before we get to our reviews, we do have someone that wrote in. So this is coming from Ajax. He has filled in on the show before, but this is what he had to say for a Minecraft movie. He said, "Take it home. I love it. And the fact that it's a Hess production in Idaho, potato-fied from the beginning is hilarious to me. But Jack Black is definitely the key ingredient here. Seeing him in a role that seemed miscast on paper and watching him rise to the occasion makes for a fun, wild ride." All right, so there you go. We've got a Take It Home from Ajax. Thank you so much again, Ajax, for writing in. And this is, again, a public service announcement. If you feel free to, it can be a movie that's coming up. We're going to try and give more of a preview of the movies we're going to be considering. Feel free to message us, email us. We'll give you the handles here at the end. But be sure to write us, even if it's movies we've done or movies that we haven't considered. Feel free to drop us a line. We'd love to hear your thought. All right, well, let's get down to it. So I'm going to have to ask you, like I always do, Seth, when it comes to a Minecraft movie, how are you going to rate it? Are you going to take it home? Are you going to watch it at grandma's? Are you going to hide it in the attic?
I'm going to watch this at grandma's. There's not really anything else to say. I enjoyed it. It was funny at times, but yeah, watch it at grandma's. It's something I'd watch again.
All right, very good. Well, I'll be honest, this was not something that really I clicked with. I think that's what it is. I could see how people love this movie. And when this came out, that's what I was hearing constantly. A lot of Minecraft fans. So I'm sure, again, if you've played the games, that plays into it. But even ones that hadn't played the game, I heard they're all, this is fantastic. I tried to go back to like expectations. I tried to keep it low because, okay, I'm hearing great things. But even with that, it just didn't click with me. There was times where, like you said, I think that's the best way to put it. There's pros and cons to it. I'm not going to say it's the most terrible movie I've ever seen, but I wouldn't say it's a good movie by my viewpoint. That's just my opinion. So I'm going to hide this in the attic. I don't really have any reason to revisit this. I think that the trailers kind of gave you a lot of the sense of what you're going to get into. There's a few scenes here and there that's added, but for the most part, for me, it's like I've seen it. The trailers kind of gave me all I wanted to see there. But more than likely, I do a terrible job on this. My kids enjoyed it. They thought it was hilarious. So I'm sure if you have little ones, if you've got your kids, they're going to enjoy it, especially if they played the games. So I probably will revisit this just because my kids will want to rewatch it again at some point. But for now, that's just going to be my final rating. Me personally, if it's your thing, great. But for me, it just didn't click. That's the best way I can summarize it. All right. Well, that's another one in the book, Seth. And we finally covered it. This was a lot of fun to go back and take a look at. It's been out for less than a year, but it was still fun nonetheless. But before we wrap things up, Seth, why don't you tell the good people where they can find and connect with us?
You can find us on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. You can email us at movies@grandmashouse@gmail.com. We have a newsletter, keep up to date on all things movies at Grandma's house. We're on Patreon, so check us out, become a member, and go to movieposters.com. Type in Grandma's house at checkout for 15% off.
There you go. Yeah, be sure you're on our newsletter. We are excited to have our monthly contest where you can win a free movie poster from movieposters.com. And all you got to do is sign up and you are automatically entered every month. So be sure you subscribe. The link will be down below. Well, that's going to do it for our time at Grandma's house, but don't worry, we will be back soon. So in the meantime, remember to be kind and rewind. We'll see you next time.
Bye, everybody.